So this is a time in Korea. Now I'm in the capital, and I had been there for some time. I had already seen a couple of other prostitutes, no sex, just hand job, just massage parlors, and I I got the itch. I wanted to go to one, and one of the I don't know how this addiction works. I don't even know if it's an addiction, but one of the cool things about this, or what I consider exciting, is that you just go into a random location, a random massage parlor, where you don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, sometimes you're gonna get diamonds, sometimes you're gonna get ogres, and I've had them all in between, and the ogre especially. But this time it was kind of in the middle. It was pretty, I would say. It wasn't a worn down place, but it was an older Korean building. It was a big building. It was probably the second floor. Typical spa. I don't really like it when there is a male as the front desk attendant, but it was a guy, typical Korean dude, yellow, almost, gone teeth just because of all the smoking that he does. I guess, that's the business. So he asked me what I wanted. Um, he realized that I really didn't speak any Korean, so I just kind of motioned what I wanted. He made the hand motion. He said, okay, told me the price, told me to go get ready, and that was it. So, I mean, I didn't know what I was gonna get. So I went into the shower, showered first, put on the robe, went into the room, and just waited. Now, this room was a fairly small room, just a massage table in it. No windows, just separated from the other rooms by a curtain. And when the girl walked in, I noticed, okay, she's not overweight, but she's a little bit chunky, which is fine. Like I said, you never know what you're going to get. She had long brown hair, a little bit wavy, great skin, as do most of the Korean people that you'll ever meet. Great skin, and she had a leopard top. So I don't know if it's called a bustier. I don't know. They didn't have straps. Halter top, maybe. I have no idea. And she had on just regular shorts, just black tight shorts. So she asked me what I wanted, how I wanted the massage, if it was okay, how hard it was, whatever. And, we're going through the motions. This isn't my first time, but I'm still fairly new to it, so I'm really excited still. And she begins to finish the massage and starts to get into what I was actually there for. So they start with the typical like cat scratch on your back and all over your body. So trying to put the very tips of their nails on your body and just dragging it very slowly. And this sensation is, I guess, you got nerves back there, so it's gonna be sensitive, and it feels nice, whatever. And then she just starts gradually going lower and lower, gets to the ass, starts to do it on the ball, starts playing with the balls. And part of the reason why I guess it's exciting to me just to always be with a new provider is that you never know what kind of tricks you're going to get. It seems like all these girls, from all their experience, so they're going to have something that they do special, or something that they do really well that stands out. So for this particular girl, it was just the ball game. And your balls is something that you have to be sensitive about, because they are sensitive and they're fragile. But she was handling them in a way that felt good, and it felt like she knew exactly how much pressure, exactly how much pull, and what motions to do, what motions not to do. So it was the first and probably the only time that I've ever enjoyed that type of ball play, just because she was a professional at it. She was great at it. And so she tells me to flip. And, with that ball game, I'm already like, wow, this is something new. I've never experienced. This is great. And I'm there. And by this time, I couldn't really speak a lot of Korean, but I knew a couple of words. And she sat on top of me while I was laying on my back. And in these places are only hand job anyway, so there's nothing else on the table. Most of the places that I went to in Korea, I think, were like this. And so, she gets the lotion, she starts jerking me off, again, continuing with the tremendous ball game. And I use my limited Korean to tell her, like, I wanna touch your tits. So she said, all right, but only over she motioned only over the shirt. I said, fine. So you're doing that. And then, I tried to push it a little bit more. I said, well, can I see them? And she said, no. No. And I said, well, I can't finish if I don't see them. And then after like some sort of negotiation or saying, going back and forth, she finally submitted. And these were a pair of great tits. I would say probably in the C or D range. Of course, she was a little bit heavier, but not, compared to the United States, she was fit. But I would say in the Asian standards, she was a little bit overweight, which was fine. Her tits were great, like I said. Then I'm looking at them, I'm playing with them, she's playing with my ball, she's jerking me off. And it was one of the better ones that I've had. And I wanted to go see her. After I had seen her, then I saw a whole bunch of other providers. But she was, I think, one of the girls that I wanted to repeat. But unfortunately, when I went back there, several months later, I believe, and then several years later, the place was closed down. And of course, there's no way of knowing where these girls went unless you got their number somehow, or, but, that's up to you if you want to try to do that. And so I remember I was with one of my friends. We were going out to eat another day, and he was asking me, I don't know the topic of the conversation, but I got confused. I thought he was asking me about the prostitute, but he was actually asking me about something completely different. So then I said, man, she was like Michael Jordan. That ball game was just incredible. And he just starts dying laughing. And he says, no, it wasn't I wasn't asking you about the prostitute. And it was just a great moment to have with him. And, like I said, another one of those reminders that the people really make all the experiences worth it. So that was the time where I met who I would consider the Michael Jordan of ball game and the prostitute game.